Am I the a-hole for calling my sister a sinful disgrace in front of our entire family and revealing her secret? I, 20 female, recently found out that I'm pregnant. My boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years. The pregnancy wasn't planned at all, but we were also not taking the steps to prevent it. With that said, we are happy and ready to start this next chapter together. We announced my pregnancy to my family at a small dinner last weekend. This is where my sister, 29 female, comes in, who is extremely religious. She's the kind of person who's at church every Sunday, pretty much only reads the Bible, and makes TikToks about passages. She constantly preaches about living a pure life and following God, and sometimes will force it into conversation. When I shared the news, most of my family was supportive and really happy for my boyfriend and me. Everyone except her. She immediately went cold and launched into this huge preachy lecture about how disappointed she was in me. She went on about how she expected better of me, how I was living in sin, and how God will judge. Pretty much she was making me feel horrible for not being married while being pregnant. I tried to keep my cool, but she wouldn't stop. She kept ranting on and on. She clearly could tell it was bothering me. Eventually I had enough, and I snapped. I figured this was a perfect time to get payback for her shaming me. I went on about how it was hypocritical to call me sinful, when she was the one who was a fake, sinful disgrace. She too had a baby out of wedlock, but unlike me, instead of keeping it, she aborted it to make sure nobody else knew. The whole room went completely silent. My sister got upset, excused herself from the table, and left the house. My mom immediately started yelling at me for bringing up the past and ruining what should have been a happy evening. I honestly don't feel bad though. My sister has been putting on this holier-than-thou act for years, preaching morality while hiding something she's too ashamed to admit. I never planned to out her secret, but she pushed me with her hypocrisy, and I lost it. Am I the a-hole? She lives in a glass house. She ought to know better than to throw stones. She who is without sin should cast the first stone. And you know, the sister said it herself. God will judge, according to her. So that meant sister should have shut the heck up about it and let God judge away. Not the a-hole. Mom should have shut down your sister. Yep, doesn't matter when it happened. Your mom should have shut her down. It was wrong to allow her to put on a show and then yell at you for pointing out her hypocrisy. Sounds like a toxic family situation. While you were no angel, the one who ruined the happy evening was your sister. For the record, I've been a Christian for more than 40 years. I also have a sister who is at least as spiteful and attention-seeking as yours is, and using the Bible as a tool to humiliate your sister does not change that. Good point. Using God in your bullying doesn't make you a good person. I'm fairly certain Jesus had some rather strict words about people who flaunt their piety in other people's faces. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom I won't be her caretaker just because I'm the only daughter? I, 34 female, have 3 older brothers. Growing up, it was always expected that I'd help my mom with things around the house while my brothers got to play or relax. I didn't think much of it as a kid. It was just how things were. But as I got older, I started to notice a pattern. My mom constantly relied on me for emotional support, household help, and later, even financial assistance, while my brothers were treated like golden children who couldn't do anything wrong. Now, our mom, 68 female, has some health issues that are progressing. Nothing urgent yet, but she's starting to talk about needing someone to move in with her, or her moving in with someone. At dinner a few weeks ago, she said, in front of everyone, "Well, obviously OP will take care of me when the time comes." Everyone kind of nodded and laughed like it was already decided. I sat there in disbelief. None of my brothers even flinched. I finally spoke up and said, "Actually, I don't think that's fair. I love you, Mom, but I have my own life and I'm not planning to become your caretaker." She looked shocked and asked, "If not you, then who?" I said, "You have 3 other children. It's not just on me because I'm the daughter." Now she's been cold toward me, calling me ungrateful and saying I'm abandoning her after everything she's done for me. One of my brothers told me I was harsh and should have just agreed and figured it out later. But I feel like if I don't speak up now, it'll become my full responsibility without discussion, just like everything else has always been. So, am I the a-hole for telling my mom I'm not going to be her automatic caretaker just because I'm the only daughter? Not the a-hole. You're setting a boundary that's long overdue. Caregiving should be a shared family responsibility, not just dumped on you because of your gender. Speaking up now is the only way to stop history from repeating itself. OP should remind Mom the reason her sons aren't prepared to help her is because she never taught them how to. The reason her daughter doesn't want to is because she's already spent 30+ years doing it, so it's someone else's turn. Let Mom be cold. She'll realize soon enough what a mistake she's made. Not the a-hole. Ask her why you should be grateful for shouldering the burden when there are 3 others that can share the burden. You have been discriminated against your whole life by her. There is nothing to be thankful about. If the brothers are married, it's 6 people who can shoulder the burden, 3 of which will be absolutely angry when the brothers expect to make the wives care for their mom, which is 100% what they'll try and do. Enjoy the fireworks. Of course your brothers think you are being harsh. They're so used to being pampered by mommy while you do all the heavy lifting that the idea of you saying no is a foreign concept to them. But you have every right to say no. Why should you have to give up your life to be her sole caretaker when she has 4 children? It would be one thing if she was asking all 4 of you to take turns helping her, but she's not. She wants you to give up everything while they give up nothing. Once again, stay strong, OP. They'll try to guilt you, but you have nothing to be guilty of. If they feel so strongly that someone should move in and help, then they can be the ones to make that sacrifice, not the a-hole. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit my sister's miracle baby after what she did to my dog? So my sister, 32 female, had a baby last year after years of struggling with infertility. We were all happy for her. She called him her miracle baby, and honestly, I didn't mind the attention he got until things got weird. I, 28 female, have a golden retriever named Benny. He's 5, the sweetest boy alive. Everyone in the family loves him. Even my sister used to, until the baby came along. One time I brought Benny over when I visited. He stayed on his mat, didn't bark or even move. The baby started crying, and my sister went, "I think he's making the baby nervous," and asked me to put him outside in the middle of winter. I said no and left early. That was strike 1. Next time I saw her, she told me straight up she didn't want Benny around her son because he's a dog. I said okay, whatever, and stopped bringing him. But I could tell something shifted. Then one day, I was out of town for a weekend and she begged me to let her stay at my place because hers was getting fumigated. I agreed, thinking it was chill. I come home Sunday night. Benny is hiding under the bed, trembling, looking all scared. I find out she locked him in the laundry room for 2 days straight because he was staring too much, and that made the baby fussy. No food or water bowl, just locked him in. I lost it. Told her she was never setting foot in my house again, and that she was lucky I didn't call animal services. Fast forward a month, she's going back to work, and suddenly I'm her first choice for free childcare. She wants me to watch her baby 2 days a week. I said no. She flipped and called me bitter and selfish, and said I clearly don't understand what it means to love family unconditionally. My mom got involved and said I'm being cruel when I could be helping. But this isn't just about a dog. It's about how she treated something I love without remorse, and now expects me to drop everything and help her like nothing happened. Am I the a-hole for saying no to babysitting my nephew because of what she did to my dog? Not the a-hole. What she did to Benny is horrible. You trusted her with him and she locked him and didn't even give him food or water. Also, she has no right to claim your time anyway. It also likely conditions the dog to be afraid and or agitated around little kids now. And the kid to be afraid / too interested in dogs? This is how you end up with a reactive dog and a kid that runs around pulling tails like an idiot. Not the a-hole, and you should report her for animal cruelty. My first reaction is reporting for animal cruelty is extreme, but then I thought that someday that little child might want a pet, and OP's sister should have a record that can be researched so that, hopefully, she won't be allowed to adopt a pet. Absolutely not the a-hole. People feel so entitled at times. I get it if it's your sister and all, but like zero reason to be cruel. It's her baby, so that's her world. We don't all need to live in her world. And just because her baby is here, doesn't mean now everyone has to bow down to her. You are not obligated to babysit for anyone. Do not feel bad, and do not get gaslit. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my grandparents' house my childhood home after I bought it? My girlfriend and I, both 25, bought my grandparents' house at the start of the year. My grandparents wanted to downsize, and when they told us this, we said we'd love to buy it from them. Started this process last year, and they agreed. They also gave us a really amazing bargain because they wanted to help us with our forever home. I was so happy because it's the house I really considered home as a kid, and it still felt that way to me. For some background to explain it, my parents had me young, since they were 19 and 21, and it meant my grandparents really had to step up to help with me. Even though my parents technically raised me and I technically lived with them, I spent far more time with my grandparents. I was at their house Monday through Friday before and after school, and from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. every summer. There were times I spent a week or two at their house while my parents were especially busy, or if they wanted to vacation without me. My parents settled more and started having more kids when I was 11, and I was pressured to spend more time with them and at home, so I'd bond with my siblings. This meant I didn't spend as much time with my grandparents at their house, but it never stopped being the place I felt was home. I'd even say my grandparents were more like parents than my actual parents were when I was a kid. So my girlfriend and I bought this house together, and we told our families after it was official. My parents took offense to me calling it my childhood home. They said I grew up living with them and was raised in their home. My grandparents reminded them I spent more time in their, now my girlfriend's house than my parents' house. That wasn't good enough for my parents. They said it was insensitive and was a dig at them. I said that wasn't what this was. I told them it was about what felt true to me. My parents said it was disrespectful to them, and that I wouldn't change their minds, that I should have known better. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your parents are a couple of crappy, selfish people. They could just be in deep denial about how their first child was raised. It happens. Humans tend to romanticize some periods of their life. Or if older, they really don't remember. Or they don't want others to know the truth. I don't think anyone is an a-hole. OP's parents should be thankful that their son had these grandparents to help them out. No one's life is cookie cutter. I wish I knew my grandparents better. My folks moved 1,000 miles away, and I only saw both sets every couple of years for a couple of weeks. Not the a-hole. Your parents can live a revisionist history if they want to, but you don't have to agree. Congratulations on being able to have your first home be your forever home. I'm glad it has meaning for you. Thanks. It's a huge deal for us because we wanted to buy a home before getting married and to have our first home be that forever home. We're so excited for this step in our lives. Not the a-hole. Home is where the heart is. Your parents just refuse to accept that your grandparents did their job. My husband felt the same way with his grandmother. It's not disrespectful when you speak of the truth and from the heart. I can understand them feeling hurt. I never really considered that saying to be so true until now, because that really fits for how I feel. My heart never really left the home with my grandparents. Last story. Am I the a-hole for getting my co-worker fired for his repeated visible D-print? I, 19 female, am interning part-time and we all dress casually. I was alone in a room at my office one morning when my co-worker Josh, late 20s male, came in and started chatting with me. When I turned to face him, I could clearly see the outline of his erection. He was wearing thin sweatpants, and they left nothing to the imagination. I didn't say anything. After he left, I just went back to work. I ignored it that first time, but it kept happening. Josh would come alone to chat, and each time he was visibly hard, and I could see it through his flimsy shorts, sweatpants, or thin dress pants. He didn't even act embarrassed or try to hide it. He'd just stand there like it was nothing. He acts normal around everyone else, and this hasn't happened any other time I've seen him. Not with others around, just when it's only us. I didn't bring it up to anyone yet. I just didn't want to appear dramatic and didn't want to make myself a target. Then he started making comments. It's hot out. I had to wear these shorts today. One day Josh came over and asked me to come to his apartment nearby over lunch. I politely declined, and as he was leaving, he said, "All right, I've got to go to the bathroom to take care of something. See you around," while glancing down. He clearly had an erection, and the outline was obvious. That was it for me. I went to HR and reported everything. HR put Josh under review, and he ended up being fired with cause. Now some of my coworkers are icing me out. One of my coworkers sarcastically muttered, "I made sure to wear proper pants today. Didn't want anyone to get any ideas," while I was having lunch near some of them, and they laughed. My boss has been talking to me less, and I feel alienated. I just wanted Josh to stop. Am I the a-hole here? Not the a-hole. Anyone being a jerk about it can kick rocks. Tell them you're there to work, not be sexually harassed with boners every day. You did the right thing by reporting his behavior. It's completely inappropriate and unprofessional. Another coworker told HR and me that Josh had said he was going to ask me out before. He'd keep coming in like that when he walked in, and it wouldn't happen anywhere else or with others around. It's my first corporate job, and I was just trying to be nice to everyone. I just put up with it, but I was uncomfortable. Josh was buddies with some of them, and they'd hang out after work, and now it's tense. I felt like I just had to say something and not be silent. I didn't want to put up with it. Dude wasn't just accidentally pitching a tent, he was practically giving you a guided tour. HR doesn't fire people over one awkward wardrobe malfunction. They fire people when there's a pattern of creepy behavior, and his "gotta take care of something" comment sealed it. Your coworkers giving you the cold shoulder, they're telling on themselves. If they think you're the problem, they're either clueless or just as bad. Not the a-hole, and it looks like your coworkers are ganging up on you. You'd have nothing to lose by reporting the whole lot of them and finding yourself another internship where they have a dress code. Where I'm from, I'm pretty sure there are laws against bullying in the workplace. Might be worth OP looking into it. It's illegal retaliation for the boss especially. Any comment mocking OP for reporting an HR violation that went OP's way is making another violation worthy of HR. But this is the rub. OP could just be painting another target on her back by doing something about it.